Yeah, so my story starts probably before I was even born, to be honest. I come from generations of addiction. So I have been able to find four generations down my mom's side and four generations down my dad's side. Most of that sort of was alcoholism. I had a grandma that was an opiate addict in the 50s before that was kind of a thing to be. Um, but for the most part, alcohol was very normalized in my family. So if you're at the lake, you crack one open at 9 in the morning. And I don't remember a night where my dad didn't drink. My dad was a pretty talented, gifted businessman. Had a was successful and was a very functioning alcoholic. And I think probably felt like he deserved that when he got home from a long day. And um, unfortunately, with being involved in that much addiction, I'm part of a statistic which says one out of every four little girl and one out of every six little boy is sexually abused or molested in that kind of dynamic. And I was sexually abused by my mom's dad. So there were a lot of common denominators for me in my life, right? Like if was enough, or my grandfather wouldn't have done that, my mom would have protected me, my dad wouldn't have been so erratic, if you will. I have an older sister and an older brother, and they really got along with one another, but not as much with me. And so the common denominators to all of these situations was me. And so I just believed that I just wasn't very lovable from a pretty early age.
Okay, did you back then did you tell somebody, your siblings, what happened to you?
Yeah, I tried to tell my mom when I was about four, with all of the words that I had to articulate it when I was four. But because my mom had also been abused, she didn't understand when I was trying to say something feels funny inside of me, something's wrong. She just said, "Yeah, we all feel that way. That's normalized." And then I never really, my behaviors would have suggested it if somebody had, I mean, there were, I would, if there was a textbook that said this is what it's going to look like if a little girl's being sexually abused, I acted out in all the ways, right? Um, but unfortunately, no adult in my life kind of put the pieces together. And when I was 18 and said it to my mom at that point was not willing to deal with it head on, and had said, "I just don't think you're being honest."
How did that make you feel? I mean, did you growing up knowing that it happened to you, what was the type of the thing that was going through your mind?
Well, I didn't I couldn't put the pieces together, right? I just felt like I was the problem. Like there were, again, all these common denominators in my life, and you hear, like, if all these things are happening to you, you might be the problem. And I started, believing that from a very early age. I remember the first time that I isolated, if you will. So I was 4 years old, and I went into my bedroom and I put like my record player and all my stuffed animals and all my things that were in my bedroom up against the door to keep the outside world from coming in. So I started sort of feeling safe in isolation at a really early age. Um, my life, my childhood was mostly me trying to reconcile all of it, to try to make sense of all of it. Like I felt like something was going on, like something was wrong, but nobody else seemed to worry about it, or nobody else seemed to think all of these, these negative things were going on. And so I just reflected that, like, I'm the one that's clearly got the problem here.
Okay. All right. So how old were you when you first started drinking or using?
So I drank a little bit in high school. This was the thing. I was not going to be generations of people that had come before me. Like, I was going to be stronger than them. I was going to break the chains. I was not going to become an alcoholic. Like, so I started to drink in high school, but I was really super aware. So I would only, like, if there needed to be a designated driver, I would be it. Or if somebody needed to watch for the cops, I would do that too. Like, I would drink to fit in, but I knew that I had this biology, and I was not going to be like these people before me. Like, I felt like their inabilities to break the chains of this thing was just weakness. And so that was never going to be me. So I started dabbling in alcohol in high school. And then when I went to college, I did some more drinking, but again, always hyper aware that I was not going to become an alcoholic.